Hey there, it's John Siskovich. You've seen that I have pigs. Look at the pigs, they're really cute. I have my plan for how I'm gonna sell those pigs on the board behind me. I'm gonna walk you guys through it and what my idea is for selling and marketing those pigs this year. So you'll see, we started off, I love going on the whiteboard because I can sit in a room with people and I can write my ideas out on the board. We can brainstorm, we can write things down as we go. It's visual, it's tactile. You're writing, so it stays with your memory a little bit longer. It's a little bit more creative of a process. I enjoy the whiteboard a lot. And then I take this and transcribe it into digital computer, and that's how we carry out our plan from there. So you'll see, Camps Road Farm needs to sell pigs good. We start out with our markets. We have two markets for this year. One is humans, people like you and me. Isn't that great that we're selling pigs to humans? But those are our whole and half customers that we're gonna sell retail or by the whole and half share pig, where you get all the pig cut and wrapped and smoked and everything, but you're buying that whole half of the pig. And that, for me, is great because it cuts down on the marketing that I have to do. I just have to sell a half a pig. I don't have to sell all the individual retail cuts. If something sells, I don't sell it, put it back in the freezer, take it out of the freezer, put it back in the freezer, take it out of the freezer. So we're selling to people, wholes, halves, and retail, and then some restaurants because we have a brewery and a distillery. We do beer events where we pair, cooked pork with our beer or our spirits and have a big marketing event for a restaurant. It's good for the restaurant, it's good for us, it's good for the farm. So our two markets are people and restaurants this year. Now, humans, sold as the whole and the half. And then we went into some of the details. So I sat down with Kate, we figured this stuff out, that as we're selling the holds and half, some of the things that we need is an order form so that people can put a deposit down on a pig. Explain the cut sheets, so we need to find who exactly is going to be our processor this year, who's going to be the butcher, and fill out the cut sheets and according to our recommendations, and then give those recommendations to the customers. The more things you can make easy in the process for your end user, for your customer, even for yourself, the more enjoyable the process is going to be, the more likely they are going to be to either buy in or be a repeat customer in the future. Deposit, we were figuring out a deposit so that we can help pay for the pigs, cover some of the feed costs. They're expensive to raise for 6 months up until the day you process them. So getting some of that upfront capital, you don't have to find that cash on hand because you can ask your customers for it ahead of time. It also builds some investment for them into the process that they can come and visit their pig if they want to. They have a share in a pig, and that spreads the price out for the customers so they don't have this big bill at the end of the season. It's kind of broken up so they never get hit really hard. And then figuring out a timeline for late season money, either a second deposit or a second installment on an invoice, and then the final processing fees and how all that works out. Having it very, very detailed so that the customer knows and you know exactly where the money is coming from, where it's going, and when it needs to be due in all of those places. So then we get into marketing. For the marketing, we have a web page that for how we sell, where to buy it, all the pig info that you need on how we manage it, what we feed them, what their life is like here on farm, posting Instagram posts, visual, multimedia type stuff throughout the year, whether it's photos or video, Instagram, Facebook, our website, YouTube, so that people can be invested in the pigs. There's the transparency because we don't hold any certifications. We're transparent about our practices and we use that in lieu of certification. It's a little cheaper for us, sells our story, helps our marketing. Yeah, and then email broadcasts and sign at the markets. We have a farmer's market. If we're not selling wholes and halves till later in the season, we can put out a sign, do a little graphic design, print something out that people can either order pigs or find out more through that sign or through our webpage. Then we get into how many of what pigs we're gonna sell here on the bottom. Our sales goals, if we have 20 pigs, we wanna have 3 going to restaurants, 10 sold by the whole and half. We're gonna do whole pigs this year. Last year we did only half pigs. 2 pigs dedicated to the staff, so we either do a discount or, there's some work and trade there. We work really hard for what we do, so you gotta be rewarded sometimes. So splitting up 2 pigs between the staff. 4 sold at retail. That means we're gonna get them all cut and wrapped, and we're gonna sell them individually as cuts. And then 1, we have a pig roast, a hop harvest festival every year. September 10th this year, we're gonna have 100 people come out. We'll harvest some hops, we'll have a pig roast, we'll have a catered event. It's a really good time. We've done it the last 2 years in a row, had a lot of fun, and we're dedicating a pig to that. that also has to factor into our expenses and our timeline for processing, all these things, lots of details. And then the process of processing, this is something that we're actively working on. Actually, this weekend we had a couple friends of mine from high school, decades now, and we had a bacon tasting. We drove around a 50-mile radius and got bacon from all the smokehouses locally that do custom smoking and tried out the bacon. We took notes and see which ones we like, who offered what nitrates or no nitrates, what the flavors were like, what the type of bacon was like, and took notes, and we're gonna help make our decisions from there. But we need to get cut sheets from the processor that we're gonna use, the butcher. We have to explain all those, so we have to create that media, schedule their deaths, whether it's USDA or on-farm processing. A lot of the wholes and halves we'll slaughter on-farm and then bring to a butcher to custom cut and wrap them for us. It's a little bit nicer of a process. Not that I enjoy it, but I feel like it's a better, it's more what I'm striving for here on farm, is to kill the pig on farm, gut it, and bring it to a butcher versus packing it up into a trailer and driving it somewhere. There's a little extra stress on the animal. When we do it here on farm, they just don't know that it's coming. Finding a smokehouse and then scheduling it, just talked about that, and then be solid on our prices, so knowing exactly, based on last year's numbers, what our cost of goods are, how much money we spent on feed, how much labor do 20 pigs take, so that all of that can factor in. And the smokehouse and the butcher, there's a lot of different tiers of money that you have to put into these pigs before you can, hand somebody a pound of bacon. So figuring all that out. Some of this stuff we know already, some of this stuff we're still working on. Farming is a process, and you learn more year to year. Things change, businesses open, businesses close, so you adjust. But the important thing is keep last year's notes so that this year's process has been a lot easier for us. I know what things we had to work on. We're working on them, and we'll share that with you if you subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Thank you guys for stopping in. It was a good time here in the office. If you have any questions about this process, I'm going to be making smaller individualized videos about certain elements of this. I want to know what you guys want to see first. So leave in the comments section what videos you would like to see. I will create them, and we will all develop the community. Thanks again for stopping in. Talk to you soon. Peace.